Hey guys, this is Khalil back with another Wimpy Kid to Getaway reading. But today we will not be doing an intro, unfortunately. But next week, I promise I'll give you guys one. Okay, now let's get to the reading. Last week we left off on page 92. Hey. She thought that was a good idea, and we found a place nearby that had an outdoor patio. But the outdoor thing ended up being a problem. First of all, there weren't just iguanas at this place. There were geckos, salamanders, and who knows what else peeking out of the bushes. It wasn't just lizards either. There were slugs too, and we had to keep flicking them off the table with our utensils. The waiter poured us glasses of water from a pitcher, but Mom told us all not to drink it. She said our stomachs aren't used to the microbes in the water down here, so we need to get bottled water instead. But Dad said he'll be fine because he's traveled all over the place and his stomach could handle anything. I wasn't going to risk it though. I ordered a can of soda and poured it into a glass, and I got a burger and some fries too. When our food came, a few birds landed in the trees around our table. At first I was okay with it because when the birds flew in, the lizards ran back into the bushes. Then a bird that looked like it had an injured leg or something started hopping around on the ground near our table. But it was all a big trick. The second we turned our heads to look at the bird on the ground, all the other birds swooped in and went after our food. But we chased the birds off, but not before they got away with half our food. The only thing the birds didn't touch was our drinks. It didn't matter though, because some slugs were helping themselves to my soda, but luckily I noticed them before I took a sip. I thought that this place was supposed to be paradise, but so far it was a nightmare. All I wanted to do was go back to the room and stay there, but Mom said we were just getting started exploring the resort. Then Dad said he wanted to go back to the room too. He said he wasn't feeling so hot, and we could all probably use some rest after that flight. We headed back to our building, but Dad had to make a pit stop at the restroom in the lobby. Then he had to go again in the bathroom next to the gym, so I guess Mom was right about the water. The rest of the day wasn't much fun for any of us. When we finally made it back to our seat, Dad shut himself in the bathroom and Mom sent me down to the store to get him some medicine for his stomach. But the labels weren't in English, so I got him something that either cures diarrhea or causes it. Hey, mi estomaco. The medicine didn't seem to work, so we had to listen to Dad moaning and groaning all night. I put on a movie in my room to try and drown out the sound, but my room was open to the outside, so the second I turned on the TV, a bunch of moths flew in and swarmed the screen. We had to turn off the television and all the lamps in the suite so the moths would fly back outside. Me and Roderick ended up spending half the night just sitting there in the dark. I was pretty tired anyway, so I figured I'd try to get a good night's sleep. But as soon as I got into bed, the music started up on the wild side of the resort, and those guys partied all night. Crazy thing is, until that point, I had forgotten that it was actually Christmas. I didn't know where this vacation was headed, but it seemed to me that there was nowhere to go but up. I probably could have slept for 14 hours, but I was awake at the crack of dawn because of the racket a bunch of tropical birds were making right outside my window. When I got out of my bed, Mom was already awake. She said Dad spent all night in the bathroom and that we needed to leave so he could catch up on his sleep. I was definitely ready for a fresh start, so I put on my bathing suit and headed for the door. But Mom said me and Roger needed to make our beds and straighten up the room. I reminded Mom that we were on vacation. The maid service would handle that for us, but she said that we weren't gonna live like animals just because we were on vacation. I told mom that the best part of being on vacation was having someone else clean up after you, but mom said that this week we were going to clean up after ourselves. Then she put the do not disturb sign on the door so the maid wouldn't even come into the room. I asked mom how we were supposed to get clean towels and sheets, and she said we washed them in the bathroom sinks, the same way we were washing our clothes. So mom wasn't joking around about us doing our own laundry. In fact, Manny was in the sink scrubbing a pair of dad's underwear, and I'm pretty sure he was using Roderick's toothbrush to do it. Personally, I think the best thing about staying in a hotel is getting clean towels and sheets every day. But mom said hotels go through a ton of laundry detergent, and if we reused our towels and sheets, we'd be saving the environment. That's when I noticed there were cars all over the bathroom that made you feel guilty about asking for clean stuff. Mom said we should all head down to the beach, but I wanted to hang back and take a shower. Truth is, I wanted to take my time in there, and I knew if she was in a suite, she'd hassle me about using too much hot water. What was crazy about the shower was that it was completely open to the outdoors. It took a minute to get used to that because I was worried someone might peek over the wall. I guess there are people who are comfortable being naked right out in the open, but trust me, I'm not one of them. I don't think it's right that you're born naked because right away you're put in an embarrassing situation. Once I got used to this open air shower thing, though, I was addicted. The shower had all these different settings like pulse and massage. I tried out every single one, but rainfall was probably my favorite. I must have stayed in there for 45 minutes. When I was done, I stepped out of the shower and put on my robe, but when I tried to put on my right slipper, there was something blocking my foot. I held the slipper up and shook it, and a giant spider dropped out. This was no ordinary spider though. That thing was as big as my hand. When it fell to the floor, I climbed up on the sink so I wasn't on the same level as it. I've had a thing about spiders ever since I was 7 years old. One summer when I was in our garage, I found something in a corner that looked like a cotton ball, and I poked it with a broom handle. Well, it wasn't a cotton ball, it was an egg sack, and it was filled with thousands of baby spiders. When I started school in the fall, the teacher had us fill out worksheets, but one of the questions was what we wanted to be when we grow up. Everybody wrote astronaut and veterinarian and stuff like that, but not me. What's your favorite color? Blue. What's your favorite animal? Dog. What do you want to be when you grow up? Exterminator. Nowadays, whenever I see a spider, it takes me right back to when I was 7. I don't even like reading about spiders. I'll tell you this, if I were one of those characters in Charlotte's Web, it would have been a very short book. I figured with my luck, the giant spider on the bathroom floor was venomous. I've read that some spiders bite their prey then wrap them up so they can eat them alive, which does not sound like a whole lot of fun. For some reason, the spider wasn't making a move either. Though it was camouflaged on the marble floor and I couldn't see it, or it was trying to figure out what to do next, just like I was. I thought about throwing my slipper at it, but I was nervous and I might miss and make it mad. And even if I did hit it, the slipper probably wouldn't have done any damage to this thing. I called out for Dad to come help me, but all I got back was a weak groan from his bedroom. That's when I remembered the phone. I dialed 911, but I just got some pre-recorded message. The phone had all these other buttons, but none of the options were a great fit for the situation I was in. So I pressed the one for room service because I figured that was close enough. A lady answered and I told her about the spider problem and how I needed her to send someone quick. But either I was talking too fast or there was some language confusion because all she kept asking was for my breakfast order. Eventually, I gave up and just ordered scrambled eggs and a side of bacon. I honestly didn't care what it took to get someone to come as long as they came fast. When I hung up the phone, the noise jolted the spider which ran across the floor and stopped right in front of the sink. Now this thing was even closer and I was too scared to move. I stood frozen for about 15 minutes, barely breathing, but then the phone rang and the sound surprised me so much I almost lost my balance. It was the room service waiter. He said he had to come to our suite to deliver my food, but there was a do not disturb sign on the door, so he turned around and went back to the kitchen. I told him to come back to the room and that he had permission to kick down the door if he wanted. When I hung up the phone, the spider started running around again, and I was worried it was going to figure out where I was and come get me. I looked around to see if there was anything I could use to defend myself, but the only thing within arm's reach was a glass on the sink. I realized that if the spider came close enough, I might be able to trap it. Sure enough, it ran right beneath me, and when it did, I managed to drop the glass on top of it. The spider wiggled around inside the glass, but it couldn't get out. I got down off the sink real slow and backed out of the bathroom, keeping one eye on the spider, but when I turned to leave, I smashed right into the waiter. All the noise got the spider moving again, and it took the glass with it. At first I wasn't worried, but because it was still trapped inside. Then it crawled over the drain where the floor dipped down a little bit, and that gave it just enough space to wiggle out. That's when I found out the room service guy had the same problems with spiders that I did. I knew it was up to me to deal with this thing, so I tried to trap it with the cover for the food, but the spider was zigzagging all over the place and it was not easy. Finally, I caught the spider by pinning it against the wall. I really didn't know what to do next because the second I lifted the food cover, the thing was gonna be off and running again. Then I noticed that one of the spider's legs was sticking halfway from under the lid. I tried to move the lid to cover the whole side, but I guess I pressed too hard because the leg fell off. The spider dropped onto the floor and now it's going nuts. Okay, guys, let's see if I can focus this. Okay, that's good. The spider dropped onto the floor and now it's going nuts. I was running around on my tiptoes trying to make sure I didn't get bit. Then the spider made a huge mistake. It climbed onto the rim of the toilet and knocked it in. And I knocked it in. The bowl with my slipper and slammed the lid shut. Then the room service guy finished it off. I gotta say, the two of us made a pretty good team. And if I ever do start the exterminator business, I might have to look this guy up. After my encounter with the spider, I was pretty eager to get out of the room. I grabbed the map of the resort to find my way to the beach, but I got lost and ended up at the wall that separates the two sides. I guess I understand why they want to keep kids off the other side, but if you ask me, it kind of seemed like overkill. I started to wonder if the room keys were actually tracking devices. That way, if any kids snuck over, they could put a stop to it. When I got to the beach, it was packed with families. I decided the real reason the wall was built was to protect the couples on the other side from seeing what was happening on our side. Because if they knew what they were in for, there's no chance they have kids of their own. Mom had rented one of those covered cabanas for our family to share. I wasn't crazy about the idea of sharing a bed with the rest of my family, but I talked myself into it because at least I'd be out of the sun. I remember the beach cabanas from the video. They played on the shuttle bus. They showed some couple having a romantic time watching the sunset. Well, maybe that's how it was on the other side of the resort, but on ours, it was a whole different story. Mom told me and Roger she was taking Manny to the bathroom, that we needed to stay in the cabana. Mom said she got the last one, and if we gave it up, somebody else would grab it. One of the families that was waiting was way overdressed for the beach. I recognized the older kid from the treasure dive the day before. I guess nobody told these people you're not supposed to wear winter clothes in 90-degree weather. The family looked like they could really use some shade, and I felt kind of guilty, so I tried not to make eye contact. Okay guys, this will end it for today, but I have a question for you guys before I leave. Are you afraid of spiders? If you are, email my mother. Let us know.